Today on Teach Me How to Vegan.
At any rate, that's your vegan s'mores recipe.
So first 15 minutes basically is all about s'mores. You can see our priorities here.
Well, when you think of camping, that's what you think of. Or if nothing else, roasting marshmallows.
Right.
Right? That's like what every kid I know thinks of. That's what Fortune, that's his first thing he thinks of. Is there a fire pit? Are we going to roast marshmallows?
Yes.
That's like all that's on his mind.
So you can definitely assuage your kids' questions if that comes up.
Absolutely. All right, so now let's talk about like what foods we might actually eat.
Okay.
Before we get to the s'mores, right?
Welcome to Teach Me How to Vegan,
a podcast where we explore how to switch to a vegan diet.
I'm Tony, a health educator, fitness instructor, and plant-based eating program manager for Animal Protection of New Mexico.
I'm Mickey, a stay-at-home homeschooling mom and vegan cook who likes to play in the kitchen.
Our family stopped eating meat in 2007.
And we went vegan in 2016. Now we like to share with others what we've learned.
Thanks for joining us.
Let's get started.
Welcome to the show. As always, thank you for joining us. Today we are talking about vegan campouts and sharing some tips, ideas, inspiration, and fun to have a great vegan campout.
Yes.
So before we dive in, I wanted to share a friendly reminder. If you love the podcast, please leave us a review.
Yes, please.
And subscribe. But really, those reviews will help us out a lot and go a long way in helping us spread the message further. So
yes,
thank you in advance. And then a quick update from the last episode. We're talking about back to school and lunches and quick breakfast ideas that you can throw together. And so one of our listeners, Selma H. from New Jersey, wrote in and shared a recipe that she likes to throw in the oven for breakfast to get ready. So thank you for sharing this, Selma. And so I just wanted to share with everybody else. It's basically like a tofu scramble. It's a tofu scramble recipe that she shared, but she bakes it instead of cooking it on the stove like you're quote unquote supposed to.
Okay.
So that you can just,
put it in and leave it.
Go about your day.
I like those.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Thank you, Selma.
So we're going to be trying that.
Yes, because I have meal prepping on the agenda for the weekend, soon.
And you've been doing some great meal prepping.
Oh my gosh, because I'm terrible at getting up for breakfast. Oh.
So maybe we'll do like another follow-up and talk about all this great meal prep you've been doing.
Sure.
To save some time.
Yes.
If that's your thing. All right, moving on. Without further ado, let's get into the camp out. We've been doing our fair share of camping over the past couple
months.
Years. Yeah. We do like to camp, maybe not as much as we'd like. This year, we've really been getting out there.
Yes, we have.
And doing it. It's a great thing
safely
to do right now because it's outdoors.
Yes.
You could be distanced. You could get out and still be safe, right?
Yes.
So that's why we're super into it and thinking people might be really into it right now as well. And so we just want to talk about, what foods we cook, what things we prep, and how to do it vegan.
Yes.
So a lot of what we're going to talk about, we've actually covered a lot of this info in previous episodes. So we will be referencing previous episodes and just kind of talking about it.
But is this one going to sort of bring those all together in one?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you are new to the podcast, this will be some new ideas. If you haven't listened to any previous episodes, you'll get some bonus info from previous ones. But first, we must talk about the most important item in any campout.
Marshmallows.
If you ask us.
Just kidding. I don't know. What is it?
It's actually s'mores.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes. I know. We know.
Yeah. Some people were like, your tent?
Yes, this is only around food items today. So.
I would camp without a tent before I'd camp without s'mores. Just kidding.
That's
silly.
dramatic.
Okay. But so how do you make vegan s'mores? Want to share this so that people know how to do this. So typically growing up when we would make s'mores, we would use like chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Right? Like the little Hershey bars or whatever. Those obviously aren't vegan. And it's hard to find bars like that are vegan, unless they're like really dark chocolate.
Yeah, you can find some dark chocolate ones.
So if you
which
like
is good.
that's good. I don't
We've
really like
done
that dark chocolate on my s'more as much.
Right. We've done it when we needed to, and it was really tasty. But typically, our route is just chocolate chips.
Yeah, exactly. So we love to use chocolate chips. There's a variety of types that are vegan, right? Including
Costco. The Kirkland brand is accidentally vegan, so that's a huge bag. So you have plenty for the entire summer and probably some for chocolate chip cookies through the fall. So there's that. Also, Trader Joe's, not the chunky ones. They're chocolate chips, but they're like larger than regular chocolate chips. But it's not the chocolate chunks. It's still their chocolate chips. Those are vegan. Sprouts has one that's vegan. The Enjoy Life is vegan.
And that's by Nestle, right?
I don't know if Enjoy Life is a brand, but Nestle, they're simply Nestle, which is only 3 ingredients, is also accidentally vegan. Not accidentally, it's on purpose because it's like avoiding the 7 top allergens, which includes
That's
dairy.
right. I don't know why. I always think Enjoy Life is Nestle's branch of that, but it's not.
But
it's
it's
own
not.
thing, and then Nestle has their own branch.
Yeah. Which is the Simply Nestle or Simply, and it's only 3 ingredients. So, so there's a variety, and you can find like the Simply Nestle ones. I found that at our like local Walmarts and local grocery stores.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we do for chocolate, but I think the harder thing to find is the mallows.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, and before we move on from the chocolate,
sorry.
I just want to one more idea you could do in place of the chocolate bar or chocolate chips, which this makes it easier, and I kind of like it for different reasons, is, way back in the day before we were vegan, once we used Nutella instead of like chocolate chips, you just spread some on there. Nutella is not vegan.
It's
but
not.
As we talked about in our previous episode, there's a vegan version, which I now know is called Nativa.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We were racking our brains and trying to remember, but so we have solved that mystery.
Yes.
It is Nativa.
Nativa.
But you could just spread that on the graham cracker. And then, see, the reason I like it is because sometimes the art of s'more making, you have to get your chocolate to melt.
Yes.
Just right.
And sometimes it doesn't melt just right.
Right. But if you just use that chocolate spread, you
Then
don't have
it's
to
already
worry
melty.
about that. Does the job for you.
Yes. It's already got that consistency you're looking for and texture.
Right, right. Okay, moving on to marshmallows, which is the most difficult part of vegan s'mores, right? And really, I only know of 2 brands that are vegan. Really
Yeah.
only one that we find regularly in our area.
Well, no. I think they're both regular in our area. We just don't go to Whole Foods to buy them.
Okay.
The Dandies, is that the one you're thinking of? I think the Dandies, Sprouts will often have Dandies. And I think it's a little more seasonal. Like they'll have the bigger ones for s'mores in the summer. And then as you transition into cooler weather, you get the baby ones for like hot cocoa.
That's right. Yeah.
And so Sprouts has that.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
I
You just
feel
have to
like
go.
I can't find. I've not noticed them. Maybe I just don't go to Sprouts in the spring as much. There's that. But Sprouts, and then I think Whole Foods has Dandies pretty regularly as well.
Okay.
I think there's that.
And we usually find them at different like health food stores, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're really hankering for them and you can't find them, you might check like at the health food store. They'll be a little expensive, but it's for s'mores. It's a good cause. If s'mores are your thing.
Right.
Otherwise, we typically go to Trader Joe's.
Because the Trader Joe's brand
Yes,
are vegan.
are vegan.
And what you're really looking out for is gelatin.
Yes,
that's the culprit. They don't have like milk in them or
Nope.
anything like that.
It's just one simple thing. It's just the gelatin.
Yeah.
So
And it's weird because the Dandies and the Trader Joe's are just as good.
yeah,
Like they don't sacrifice anything in
Anything.
texture or flavor. So it's just a matter of it's cheaper to use the gelatin or something like that.
Yeah. Even like I've looked sometimes in the like kosher section of a grocery store because there'll be kosher marshmallows there, and even those still have gelatin, but it's considered kosher. But you can look around and like Tony said, the culprit is really just gelatin. So I am always checking marshmallows.
I check them every time
like
too.
every time we're someplace new and we see a new brand or some store or something and it's different, I am always checking the marshmallows. So it's literally just a habit because we like mallows.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm always just like, hoping for a miracle that one day another brand they'll catch on.
Yes.
And there is one more brand that I've seen online called Yum Mallow.
Okay.
Yum Mallow, YUMMALLO.
Okay.
So you could order them, or maybe people find those in your area.
Yeah.
So that's for the marshmallows. And again, rest assured they will roast and
oh my gosh, yes.
do all the things that marshmallows are.
If you're not careful, they will slide off your skewer just like a regular marshmallow and back into the fire, and then you will have a sad child on your hands. Thankfully, it was our 14-year-old, so he wasn't, didn't dissolve into a pile of tears and tantrums.
Yeah.
It was just super sad face.
Totally. All right, so that's your mallows. Now we need the grams.
The gram.
And there's a lot of graham crackers that are vegan. What we're really looking out for is honey. Yeah. That's the usual culprit. And by a lot, I mean there's like 3.
I was going to say, what do you mean there's a lot? Because we have a hard time, actually. Sometimes I feel like our limiting factor is actually the graham crackers and not even the mallows.
Sometimes it is, yeah. I meant there's like several.
More than just 2. Like there was only like 2 mallow brands that are semi-regularly available, and now maybe there's 3 grams is what you're getting at.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And I'll tell you, there's been times that we haven't been able to find any grams.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
When everywhere, like every store you check only has the ones that contain honey.
Yeah, it is.
It's quite frustrating. But
especially if they have like 3 different brands, but they all have honey.
I know, it's so...
Even the cinnamon grams sometimes have honey.
And that used to be our, like, tried and true, like, at least the kids like them,
Yeah.
And we used to give them to Constantine when he was real little. We would mash bananas and then give him cinnamon grams to dunk in them and stuff.
Mashed banana and Cool Whip together, and that was a snack. Oh, my gosh, we should do that again.
And then dunk the cinnamon graham crackers in it. Because they used to not put honey in the cinnamon ones, and now they decided to for some reason.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Anyway, what you're looking for is the Nabisco Original, which is in a red box.
The red box.
Those are pretty widely available.
Yes.
That we see pretty often.
Yeah.
So that's what you're looking for. Or the Keebler Original. I think that's a blue box, but also those ones don't have honey.
Okay.
And then the Kellogg's Original. Basically original. Because the other ones say honey something.
Yeah.
And
then there's the honey.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another brand, or I guess maybe it's just the Walmart brand I'm thinking of. Both of them, cinnamon and original, or cinnamon and honey, have the honey in it. I feel like there's another one. The Keebler, what's the name brand one that's next to the Walmart one? Is it the Keebler?
I think so, because that's the one we bought fairly recently.
Yeah. That was a yellow box. That was the one we found at Grocery Outlet. That was yellow box. Keebler Original yellow box. Oh, yellow and blue.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking blue and you were thinking yellow, but it's yellow.
It's yellow and blue. Yes. Okay.
So basically, those are the 3 types. Nabisco, Keebler, Kellogg's, all original. You're just looking for the ones without honey.
Yeah, and there might be some at like Whole Foods and Sprouts or natural grocers, like the health food stores, that are not like a brand we're thinking of that don't have honey. So always, check out those places as well.
Yeah, good call. I can't say that I've ever looked for graham crackers at Whole Foods, so I have no idea
exactly.
What they have.
And I'm trying to think if there's a time that I looked at Sprouts, and I don't know if there is. There probably is. I'm just not remembering.
Yeah. At any rate, that's your vegan s'mores recipe. So
first 15 minutes basically is all about s'mores. You can see our priorities here.
Well, when you think of camping, that's what you think of. Or if nothing else, roasting marshmallows.
Right.
That's like what every kid I know thinks of. That's what Fortune, that's his, everywhere we go, anytime we're camping, that's like, first thing he thinks of, is there a fire pit? Are we going to roast marshmallows?
Yes.
That's like all that's on his mind.
So you can definitely assuage your kids' questions if that comes up.
Absolutely. All right, so now let's talk about like what foods we might actually eat.
Okay.
Before we get to the s'mores, right? So a lot of people, including us, when you're out camping, you want to do a lot of grilling or cooking over the open fire, which is really fun. And so we did do a whole episode on grilling. So I'd recommend checking out that episode and just exploring all the lovely options of grilling, because you can do so much. You can take some foam meats with you. You can pre-prep some veggie kebabs, like
marinades and stuff like
there's
that.
so much you can do with grilling. So that was all covered in the grilling episode. Also, let's talk about just a couple of our favorite like go-to meals to cook over the open fire or like on the little Coleman stove or whatever while we're camping. And one that we make every single time we camp is the sausage, peppers, onions, and potatoes.
Yeah,
you have like
kielbasa.
a huge smile because you love it so much.
Oh my God, I love it.
And it's what kind of sausage is it?
Kielbasa.
It's and what brand?
A tofurkey,
That's what I thought.
The tofurkey
Because I'm picturing
kielbasa.
like a green package.
Yeah.
So the tofurkey kielbasa.
Yes. And I was so excited that that I found that kielbasa, for one, because I grew up. This is one of my mom's favorite things to make growing up, and it's colorful peppers, potatoes, sliced up kielbasa, all cooked together.
So we basically take a whole package of that
Kielbasa.
and just cut it in like little coins, right? And then we take like a green pepper, a red pepper, a yellow pepper, an orange pepper, just cut them up in little chunks.
Similar size to your coins of kielbasa.
Do the same thing with an onion. Take one onion and cut it up like that. Same thing with potatoes. Probably about just a couple potatoes. And then you just kind of mix it all together. If you have like a big grill type of thing, you can
or a
cook
big
it on
griddle.
that. Like a big griddle. That's the word I was looking for. Don't put it on a grill. Like it'll fall through. But a griddle like the big like discos things that they use to cook on.
Yeah.
You can just cook it up on there. That's wonderful. Or if you're like old school cooking over an open fire like we like to do sometimes, I think it's really fun to do it this way, where we make our own individual servings in foil.
Yeah, we make foil packs.
And so you make little foil packs, and it works perfect because we're a family of 4, and the kielbasa comes with 4 sausages.
Yes.
So we put one in each thing, and then a mixture of the peppers, onions, and potatoes in each one. I'll put like a little drizzle of water or oil or a mixture.
Yes.
Just because the tofurkey kielbasa is not quite as
oily and
greasy as like animal flesh meat would be.
Yeah.
So you just put a little bit of that in, and then close up the little foil packet and put it in the fire.
Yep.
Or on top
or
of the
on
fire.
top, like, if you have that little stand grill thing that's over the fire, you put it on that, and then you can just
let it cook, and then it's done.
And then it's done. It's so fun. And then it's kind of fun because you can eat out of the foil packet. Like you might have to put it on a plate or whatever. Or you just dump it in a bowl, and so yummy.
Yeah.
So yummy. And it's funny because this is interesting. I don't think we add any spices.
Right. I'm pretty sure we don't.
Maybe a little salt and pepper or garlic powder on the potatoes. I don't think there's anything, because the kielbasa, especially when you do it in the foil, actually all the time. It's so good.
It adds so much flavor. Yes. And like when you grill vegetables, when you grill the peppers or onions, like you don't need seasoning anyway. They have so much flavor.
Yes.
And then when you combine it all, it's like the magic of cooking it together.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. And then the other thing that I do before camping for this is I pre-cut the peppers and potatoes.
Right. So we're taking like a gallon bag full of chopped peppers and potatoes, and then we just have to cut the sausage.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever had the potatoes do a weird color change thing on me, but if you're concerned about that, you can just pre-cut your peppers, because we do like that colorful combo. So that's 4 peppers, and you can use whatever combo you like, but I do definitely at least pre-cut that.
It just helps save time and energy.
It does out there, because especially if you've had, like, if you're active and doing things and hikes or whatever, or if you're just chilling and you want to just keep chilling, you don't have to do as much prep at the campsite.
Right. But I love this because it's such a great meal at the end of the day. If you've been out hiking and swimming and doing all this stuff, you want a really hearty meal. A lot of times it gets chilly at night, so you want something hot. And that's why it is the perfect camping meal.
It's so good.
So good. And I love the extra touch of doing it in the foil packet. You know, growing up, we learned to make what was called pocket stew. And that's the idea, is you put a chunk of meat. Usually it's ground beef or whatever, and then your vegetables and potatoes, and wrap it up in a foil pocket, throw it in the fire, and then the grease from the meat like cooks the rest of the stuff. And so this is just basically a vegan version of that.
Yeah.
When you do it that way, it just makes me feel like I'm all official camping.
Yes. And it's such a different way. It's very part of the theme and part of the experience, because you're not typically cooking in a foil packet over an open flame, you know, or on the like grate that goes over the flame. Like that's not a typical way of cooking, so it just adds to the whole camping experience.
Exactly.
Which is awesome. And if for whatever reason you're in an area, because there are a lot of places that have no fires, they have a ban on fires right now, you can still do this meal on like your propane Coleman stove. We have like a little Coleman stove that we take also, and with the little canisters of propane and stuff, and we've done it on there as well. Sometimes I might have to cook it in batches depending on how big of a pan
the skillet is.
The
but
skillet
we used to
is
do
in
it
our
in a
tub.
cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
On that all the time.
Yeah.
Super good.
Yes.
And then, you know, with that, you could also do just any type of pocket stew with whatever, you know, faux meats you want to do.
Yeah.
I've always thought that a Beyond meat would work really well with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you just throw a Beyond burger patty in there with whatever potatoes and vegetables you want, because the Beyond beef patties,
that's greasy.
They produce a lot of grease.
That'll make it juicy.
It'll make it so good. I would highly recommend that. If you do like an Impossible patty, those don't produce as much grease.
Right.
So, you know, because like when we cook the Beyond burgers in the pan, there's a lot of grease left over, versus when we do Impossible burgers in a pan, there's like no grease.
Right.
So if you use Impossible, I'd recommend
a little juice
adding
of some sort,
water or oil or some juice to cook it up. But
you could do also, I think the other thing that could be good is some kind of, with like the little chicken strips, like the Gardein chicken strips or the Morningstar chicken. You could do like a chicken fajita.
Yep.
In there. You might even be able to do like some kind of like similar to chicken and dumplings, like chicken and vegetable and like a gravy. I don't know. Something like that maybe could be good.
Yeah, get creative because it's fun. And like you said, it's part of the experience.
Oh my gosh, it's such a fun part of the experience. It's so different.
And the kids enjoy it too. They love it.
And it's funny because one time we went camping in Jemez, we forgot our Coleman stove.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And we got lucky. we lucked out because you could have campfires, and they had fire pits, and it was the kind that had the little grate that you can swing over the fire. And we actually have a tub that has all our camping gear in it, except for like the tent and bigger things like that. But like food stuff and clotheslines, all sorts of things. When I was like, oh, we're going to be campers, I like went out and I made this camping tub, and it's got all our cooking stuff in it, and we just grab our tub and we go. So we had all of that stuff, but the Coleman stove is separate because the tub has so much stuff in it, and we forgot it. So we still had our pots and our pans and our cookware and stuff. So thank goodness. But that was one of the first times that we started cooking over an open flame because there was no other way to cook. Like we had to figure it out.
I guess we're going to do this.
Yes.
So we went old school and gathered our firewood and made fires every night, and even like in the morning if I wanted tea or coffee. Guess what? You gotta
just
get the fire going to heat the water up.
It was such an experience.
But it was awesome.
It was really cool. And then it's really neat to like by the end, even if you're just 3 days, you're doing it 3 or 4 times a day because you gotta cook. By the end of your little trip, you have this confidence you didn't have before. So if you have that option, we recommend trying it because it does add to the whole camping experience.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so another go-to meal while we're camping that we have like almost every time is hot dogs and baked beans.
Yes. Yeah, it's so simple, and I'm sure everybody does it, and like, oh, why even mention it? But no, we do it every time.
Yeah, and so we like the Bush's vegetarian baked beans. Just take a can of those or 2 if you have a big family or big appetites.
Yep.
Because you could just warm them in a pan.
Yeah, that's
over
so
any
easy.
Flame or heat source of any type. And then the hot dogs, you can grill them. If you're grilling, you can just add them to boiled water if that's easier. Like whatever you want to do, you can do it. Or you could just do Mickey's favorite thing in the world and just cut up the hot dogs and mix them into the baked beans and do her
Yes.
little, what she calls,
You get your vegan beanie weenies.
yeah, beanie weenies, and just do it that way. And again, there's another one that it's very hearty and hot at
Yes.
the end of a day of activity when it's getting chilly.
Chili. Yeah.
And you just want to be in front of the campfire and warm up with some hot food. It really just hits the spot.
Yeah.
So highly recommend that one. So those are like when I was thinking about it, these are like the only go-to meals that we have like every time we
yeah.
camp, right?
Hot dogs and beans and the kielbasa pepper potato.
Yeah. So I definitely want to talk about those and
Yes.
pocket stews,
Mm-hmm.
and then refer people to the grilling episode for other things to grill.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some other like sides and stuff that we take sometimes that are really good that I wanted to mention. Like one being coleslaw.
Yes.
Because you can prepare it before you leave
Yes.
again, take it just in a container
potato
or
salad.
a bag or something.
Yeah.
And potato
Potato
salad's
salad.
the other one that I was going
Yeah.
to mention.
Yeah. And I really like those a lot because you prep them at home and you just put them in a container and you take them with you. So it's less work at the campsite. So there is a little bit of like front end meal prepping that is involved with the way we camp, but I really like it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Pays
less,
off.
it really does pay off. That's a good way to put it. It has a really high payoff
Mm-hmm.
at the campsite.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For sure.
The other one you could do too, coleslaw, potato salad, pasta salad.
Right.
Yeah. The couscous salad.
Yep.
So there you go. There's like,
Or like a bean
There's-
salad.
yeah.
Any type of salad.
and those are kind of good for middle of the day
Mm-hmm.
because you can keep them chilled. And if it's hot, you want something kind of cooling.
Mm-hmm.
And so those might be good as lunches.
Exactly. Perfect. And then you can add like a sandwich to it, any
Mhm.
variety of sandwich. We talked all about sandwich varieties in our back to school
Yes.
episode. You could do any type of that or any type of wrap, like just add something
Yeah.
else with that. Pasta salad, potato salad,
Yeah.
couscous salad, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, our couscous salad is pretty hearty.
That's pretty much a meal in and of itself.
Yeah.
This couscous salad with a fruit on the side, I think, is all you need.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
And perfect refreshing during the day when it's warm and hearty,
To get you through your afternoon activity.
filling and nutrient dense. Exactly.
Yes.
Because I'm all about those. You know, when we're gonna be out hiking and stuff, you're thinking about your nutrients.
Yes.
And then just talk real quick about breakfasts.
Yes.
So I think one thing again that we do like every time we camp for some reason, it's our go-to is the benevolent bacon.
I know.
I always
Well,
associate that with camping.
With camping, yeah. Because for a long time, that was the only kind of like faux breakfast meat that we could find.
And that's probably why.
And I think it felt like, I don't know if it felt like too extravagant for just being at home, but it was like, oh, this is a fun treat and it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's less prep and all of that stuff for camping. And that's why I would grab it all the time. But yeah, benevolent bacon, definitely.
Yeah.
With what? Pancakes? Pancake bites?
I think that you would,
Muffins?
I think that we would prep pancake bites.
I think so too.
And then just kind of heat them on the skillet there. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm picturing
Well, and
myself.
those you can eat cold. Like those don't have to be warmed up.
That's true. But I think that's kind of the go-to.
Yeah. And a pancake bite is basically just a pancake in a muffin cup.
You just
and
make pancake
baked.
batter, pour it in a muffin
Yeah.
tin and bake it.
Yeah. So
Um,
on that level, you could just make a heartier muffin too.
Right. You could just take muffins and
Mm-hmm.
have them. But now there's all kinds of other breakfast meats that would be great for camping. My favorite of all time, I'm not even going to name it because I'm going to mess it up. I'll just link
It
it
is
in
by
the show
Field
notes.
Roast.
Field Roast, the little links.
The little
They look
links.
like the little breakfast links.
Yeah.
And I think it's maple. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think I would know, but I just know what they look like and what they taste like.
Yes. You just grab those.
But there's so many that
Yeah.
just grab any.
There really
type
are.
Of breakfast
And
meat
like
would
you
go
could
really
do
good.
you could do a breakfast version of the kielbasa with you can
Mhm.
do the field roast apple sage. Those are the longer
Mhm.
sausages that comes like 4 in a pack and it's long, and you can do that with like potatoes or hash browns, peppers, and whatever else.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Another good thing to take camping. I've seen a lot of people make eggs while they're
Mhm.
out camping, on their griddle or whatever setup
Yeah.
they've got. and you could take just egg.
Yes.
It would be really convenient because it's in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about eggs breaking or anything like that.
Right.
It's basically like the scrambled egg ready to go that you could just pour in your pan or on your griddle or whatever you're doing.
So good.
And
You guys,
cook it up. It is so good.
I am obsessed right now.
Mickey is.
Oh,
she really is.
my goodness. It's a little bananas. And it is okay. I'm owning it. I love just egg. Seriously. Oh, I ate a lot of egg before, and I think I didn't realize how much egg I was eating before we went vegan until we went vegan. And breakfast was an issue. Yes. And vegan breakfast was an issue for me. Like, obviously I worked it out. We've been vegan for 5 years now. You know what I mean? But now just egg is in my life. Oh my goodness.
And no one else in the family complains that you're obsessed with it.
No,
like, we
they
would
don't.
eat it every day too.
Yes.
We don't eat it every day, but we
don't.
would. I'm just saying.
I
As
would
often
I would
as Mickey
be
will
very
make
close.
it for us,
Yes.
we'll make it or we'll eat it
Yeah.
happily. But I think
Anyway,
that would be a really great thing to
it
take
would.
camping
That would,
because
yeah.
it's convenient and it cooks up just like scrambled egg. You can add it to any burrito
Yes.
or any like hash brown concoction
You can
want
just
to
do
make.
a one pot thing. You saute up some
Exactly.
pepper and onion, saute up some hash brown, throw the just egg in and it's just one thing. Throw it in a burrito and you can take it to go. Eat it in your plate and cover it with sriracha or whatever. Like it would be a really good camping breakfast to take.
Precisely. And then one more that we tend to take kind of like as our backup or when we need it to have in our back pocket, is granola and soy milk
Yes.
for breakfast.
Like a cereal.
Yeah, like
But
a
we do
granola cereal.
A granola cereal, yeah.
Right. So we could just eat that
Mm-hmm.
like on a day that we're more in a hurry or don't want to cook or we're tired
Yeah,
or like
the
the day
day
we're
we're
leaving back
leaving, yes,
home and we just
exactly.
need something, blah, blah, blah. Conveniently, there's shelf-stable soy milks everywhere. We usually get them at Costco, so we have the Kirkland brand on hand. We could just grab a couple of those and then have them whenever you want. So
yes,
that's always a good one to just have.
Yeah, and then if you're not into that, you can grab a tub of yogurt and the granola.
Yeah,
And
you just have to make sure you have room in your cooler or your
yeah.
little fridge or whatever you're
and
doing.
that's why we don't usually take the yogurt because it's packed with everything else typically.
And the granola and soy milk is always there for you. And another reason why it's good for the last day is because you don't have to keep it temperature controlled.
Yeah, through your whole trip. Yes.
So just some tips and ideas to get you started and, get creative with it and go from there.
Yes.
Those were a lot of our go-tos.
Yes.
And then just real quick, before we're done, talking about some snacks or some hiking
Yes.
or activity like when you're out and about.
This is a new thing I've been trying out for us.
Yeah, because we've been doing a lot of hiking and a lot of outings, day outings, which is fabulous.
Yes.
And so tell us more about what you've been doing for us.
Well, of course, a trail mix for one.
Yeah.
And you can buy them pre-mixed. Usually I think they're labeled like the Omega trail mix. And that is typically accidentally vegan because it's usually like nuts and seeds and like craisins, dried cranberries, stuff like that. I think some of the ones that have like dried fruit in them are accidentally vegan, but I've been doing a trail mix. Sometimes I just make it at home with the things that I have because I'm like, oh, these nuts need to go, and these craisins are getting a little extra dried out. So I will just throw stuff together and I'll do like walnuts, craisins, chocolate chips, coconut flakes, sunflower seeds. That's mainly the one that I just make at home, and it's really good. And I do it for whatever ratio that I like. My favorite ratio is like, I don't know the exact thing. It depends on the size of the walnut, really. But it involves a walnut, a craisin, and chocolate chips in one bite. That's my like most basic, because I do buy the Kirkland Costco giant bag of chocolate chips. So we often have chocolate chips in the house.
Yeah. And I think that was the combination you made most recently.
Yes.
And it was really good. It really hit the spot.
Yes.
Oh my God. It was like an energy boost.
Yeah.
When I needed it.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw out there, if you're listening to this and you think that craisins don't sound fabulous in your trail mix, don't listen to yourself. Listen to Mickey.
Because Tony is always like, craisins.
I did that this last time.
You did. You
I
always.
was like, why don't we use raisins instead of... But then I thought that, but then I just shut up because I already knew what was going to happen. And I just let her do it, and she did it. And then I was like, God, this is so good with these craisins. So always go that route.
It is really good. It's good. I think the other one that's a good combo... Because I like to sometimes do things that are a little different that you don't normally get. Like we do raisins often in like oatmeal and other types of cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I like to mix it up on like trail days and whatnot. But golden raisins are super yummy and a good treat too. So check out golden raisins also.
Just to
Mix it up a little bit. Yeah. Then the other thing that I did too is apricots, dried apricots. And that hit the spot too on our last trail.
Yeah.
It was really good. And then of course you could do the usual, like could do like a Cliff Bar or some kind of Lara bar. You could do
the Len and Larry's cookies.
Yeah. Carrots. And most dips need to be refrigerated. So if you have like a hydration pack and your water is kind of cold and you put a little baby cold pack in there, maybe you could take a dip with you.
Peanut butter is a good...
Oh, yes, peanut
butter. If you want to do some like apples and peanut butter or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, and you can buy individual packages. But yeah, that's, trail mix, dried fruit. The bars are good. Fresh fruit, some fresh veggies, things like that.
Yeah, all of the above.
Just remember, if you hike it in, to hike it out. Don't leave your trash.
Yeah.
Take it with you.
Awesome. I think we gave a lot of examples and ideas for... Well, we covered s'mores very thoroughly.
I was going to say, if you need to skip ahead on the s'more part.
And then...
And there are other desserts we've tried, but the tried and true is s'mores.
Yeah.
Because the cone one was really delicious, too.
I was just remembering that.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to remember what it was. But it was very messy.
It was messy.
Fortune was...
Well, he was also 3 the first time we tried it.
And yet... That was the messiest I've seen his 3-year-old face ever.
So what it is you take a ice cream cone, and we just did the little ones, and it was the sugar cones we did. And you can put like mallows and chocolate and fruit. It's a good
like
combination.
Blueberries and strawberries.
Yeah, blueberries and strawberries or something that we had, and you put in some mallows and you put in some chocolate, and then you wrap it in foil. And you cook it in the fire. And then you take it out and you let it cool a little bit. And then you unwrap it and you eat your cone.
So the chocolate's like all
melty.
Melted throughout it.
Everything's melty.
So good, but oh my God. If you have young kids, it was a mess.
Yeah.
Even Teen was kind of a mess, and he was like 9 at the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Another idea. All right. So... Hopefully we got you a nice little jump start on planning your next grand vegan camp out.
Yes.
If you've got your own go-to meals, foods, recipes for camping, we'd love to hear them. Please reach out, and we will
please share
them.
We have our tried and true, but sometimes we draw blanks.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm tired of taking that thing. I want to try something new.
So we'd love to hear it. So awesome. As always, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. We release new episodes every 2 weeks. You can always email us at plantbased@apnm.org. Check out our website, apnm.org/plantbased for classes, recipes, and more resources.
See you in 2 weeks.